What's good, good looking people? My name is Jess and welcome to my channel. As you guys are read from the title, I will be doing another Get to Know Me Q&A video, part 3. Alright, so I'll be answering some of y'all's questions that y'all might have about me. And yeah. Alright, question 1. What are my friends' names? Alright, so basically this one is kind of personal to me. I'm just gonna do like a little background on this. I grew up with no more than like 4 to 5 friends. I wasn't super popular, which was fine, you know. But throughout elementary, I had a total of 4 friends that I would hang out with up until this point in time. Like I was in like 4th grade, and there was this girl that ended up moving away, and because she moved away, I was down to 3 friends at that point. Now I'm not gonna name any names because, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I grew up with less than 5 friends, basically. Yeah, and then in middle school I had about 3 friends, but then I gained a couple doing like other extracurricular activities, whether it was, through dance or through, um, other activities like band and such. So, yeah. And then in high school, I continued having the amount of friends that I did, and then it kind of decreased a little bit from 3 friends to now 2. And then I ended up gaining some through marching in, so I did that as well. And yeah, so yeah, like I said before, I will not be naming any names because because they could be watching. Question 2. Who is my best friend? Now that one is a hard one. When I basically wrote this question, I was like, I don't know. But yeah, I had one really good friend throughout elementary school and middle school, and also through high school as well, that I would hang out with and talk to, and I really liked her vibe and stuff. So yeah, she was really cool. And then yeah, question 3: how long have we been friends? So basically, a lot of my friends, depending on where I met these people, if it was at school, or if it was at other social events and stuff, I basically had my longest friendship that I had was 12 years. Now that is long for some people who probably never had a friendship that long, but you tend to cherish these friendships, not just during that time, but after that as well, and you see them as long life friends, like people that you rely on and that you count on for different aspects. And so it's really cool to be able to not just have friends that you can be friends with for that long, but also have friends that you can be friends with longer than just, oh yeah, we met at school, or we met at, at a charity event or something. So, it just depends. Yeah. Question 4. What is my favorite set of twins on YouTube? Now, this here, I'm not going to name any names, but there's a couple of them that I do follow on YouTube. No, that I'm subscribed to, sorry, on YouTube that I think are really cool. I think they have a really great platform and all of this stuff. Like they're putting out really cool things. So yeah, there's different sets of YouTubers that I think are really cool. Like I said before, I'm not gonna name any names because I think all sets of twins, whether they do social media or not, like they're great. So, question 5. What is my favorite juice? Now, my favorite juice would be orange juice. Out of all the juices that's out there, I would pick orange juice. Question 6. What is my favorite soda? This one I have a couple of favorite ones. But my ultimate favorite one would probably be, I would say orange Fanta. I probably would say that one. Alright, question 7. What is my favorite fruit? My favorite fruit is blueberries. I don't know why I have to think about it, but my favorite fruit is blueberries. I love anything blueberry flavored. It's really, really good. So, yeah. Question 8. What do I like to wear the most? Hats or sunglasses? For me, I prefer sunglasses because I think I look better in sunglasses than I do with hats. I try to make myself wear hats, but anytime I wear any form of hat, doesn't matter what it is, to me, I feel like I don't really look too good in it. So I prefer sunglasses for hats. Alright, question 9. What is one thing I love about in my life? I think one thing that I love is how I have my quiet side, which is good. My quiet side as well as my fun side, if you know what I mean. So like when I know, the person that I'm hanging out with, I like my personality will come out and I will have my fun side, but mostly I'm quiet. That's how I be me. So, yeah. Question 10. What is one thing I hate about in my life? That's a hard question. I don't think I hate anything, but I think what I probably would hate is how it takes me a while to like get to know people, and it's like I'm not able to like jump in and get to know people. I tend to observe more than be involved in whatever, which is okay. But sometimes I'm like, I wish I could go in and be in with all the action, but a lot of times, how my brain, works and operates and stuff, it just doesn't see it in that, same light. Question 11. What is one thing I can live without? I think one thing that I can probably live without is TV. I think now that, there are different ways you can watch movies and shows, on other, devices, I feel like TVs are becoming something that people don't really use as much. I mean, they use it, but I feel like they expect, people to download apps and watch movies and shows on there and on like their phone, their tablet, you know, laptop and stuff. So yeah, what is one thing I can't live without? I think everybody knows this question. I mean, knows the answer to this question, and yeah, I don't want to make it too obvious because yes, I would say my phone, but I think the one thing that I know that I bring with me all the time is my headphones. So I always bring my headphones everywhere that I go. So I know that that is an essential that I bring with me everywhere. So yeah, I would say that one. Question 13. What is my favorite type of music? My favorite type of music is pop music. I grew up listening to pop music, and I think what started it all was this band called One Direction. A lot of you guys know that band, and yeah, that kind of like started the whole thing with me enjoying pop music for what it is. So yeah, I would definitely pick that as my favorite genre. Um, Question 14. What kind of shoes do I like better, Converse or Vans? Now, this one here is um something that I never really had to like think about, but I would have to go with Converse over Vans just because that's what I've worn more, and I've never worn Vans, so I don't know, maybe that will change in the future, but yeah, I've never worn Vans, um, but I do love Converse shoes. I feel like that style is pretty vintage in my opinion, so I like all the styles that Converse has. But yeah, um, alright, so it says, what kind, oh, sorry, question 15, what kind of car do I want? Now this, I have several options. I have several options for this one, so I'm gonna just name out the different ones. So I wouldn't mind getting a Volkswagen Beetle, a I don't mind a Mustang, a a Jeep Wrangler, and then you have the Mini Cooper. Out of all of those there, I think the one that would probably suit me out of those would be either the Mini Cooper or the Jeep Wrangler. Now, the Mustang, I mentioned that one as more of like a joke type of experience, and I know that's more of like a guy car, I guess if you want to put it that way. But if I was with a guy that liked that type of car and I managed to to drive it or whatever, then that is totally fine with me. If my future husband ended up with a car that ended up being a Mustang. Yeah, but I would choose either the Mini Cooper or the Jeep Wrangler as one of the as one of the cars that I would consider. Question 16. What do people do that drive me crazy? probably would say like, I think like too much like touching is like too much for me, you know. No, I'm actually serious. Like, I think that's too much for me. Like, I need my space, and so I feel like if like someone comes up to me for whatever reason and like starts touching me and doing all that stuff, I feel like it's a little weird. It's like, at least ask first before you do it to make sure that the person would be okay before you do it. Don't just, yeah. Question 17. What do I like better, Disney or Nickelodeon? The answer to that question is I would say both because, you know, I grew up watching both, but I liked Disney Channel a little bit better just because they had more shows and more movies. But Nickelodeon had, you know, some good options as well, but not a greater or a wide variety. They didn't really have as much as, you know, Disney Channel did. So like Disney Channel had more of a wide variety. So I really liked how they were able to expand more with Disney than they were with Nickelodeon. But that's just me, and I loved all of the shows and the movies that they were able to put out. Yeah, I really liked it. So, question 18. How well do you know me from a scale from 1 to 10? To answer that, for me, if we're talking about like self-discovery, I would probably say like a 7. But if somebody else was getting to know me, that would be a whole different question. I mean, different answer. I mean, um, question 19. How well do you wish you knew me? Um, me, I wish that if I was having a conversation with someone about, you know, my struggles and everything that's going on, I would want to know myself well enough to be able to have that conversation with someone else, or else it just wouldn't, you know, work. So like, I feel like if you are gonna have a conversation with someone about the things that are going on in your life, you want to be able to first understand that within yourself before you can do that with someone else, or else it just wouldn't, you know, work out the way that you wanted to if you just go firsthand and have that conversation with them without evaluating that or looking within yourself for that, you know. So, question 20. Do I like earbuds better or headphones better? Now, to answer this question, I grew up having headphones because I went to schools that required it. So I had to wear headphones that plugged into like um, the computer. So it had to be wired. It couldn't be wireless because at the time they didn't really make like wireless headphones like they do now. But at the time they had, you know, this thing at my school where they would require the students to come in and they would bring headphones, but it had to be like over the head headphones with a wire attached to it so you can be able to plug it into your computer that you were using for that day. And then so yeah, I enjoyed having wired headphones up until like 2021. So yeah, I got these really nice Beats Solo 2 headphones, and they were in the color blue. Um, and I had that for about 5 years, and it worked really well. And I used it up until it got destroyed. Like when I mean like destroyed, I'm not just talking about like the ears were destroyed. I'm talking about like when you try to plug it into your phone to make it work, like there was no sound that came out of it. You just knew that it was used well enough to the point where, the sound was just gone. So yeah, um, up until like 2021 is when I stopped using wired headphones. And ever since then, I started using the wireless headphones. And when I started using the wireless headphones, I enjoyed that a lot more because I was able to put the headphones in my ears and do what I needed to do without feeling like I had to walk around with my phone in my hand while I'm doing another activity or a chore or something. So yeah, and then um, I also like the wired ones for when you go on the airplane. So when you go to like the plane, they would give you, depending on the type of airline that you go on, they would give you headphones so that you can be able to use them, to watch movies and such. I know Delta does this. Delta does this thing where they would give out, headphones. And so you would use the headphones and then you can be able to watch a movie or a show or whatever it is that you wanted to do on the screen in front of you. And you can do that. Um, but not all airlines have that accessible for their passengers. But that's one of the things that I love about Delta. But between the headphones and the earbuds, I would go with earbuds just because I'm used to wearing wireless earbuds over the regular headphones, but they do make wireless over the head headphones, which I've never tried, but I've seen other people try them, and that one's good too. But I've gotten so used to the ones that goes in your ears that I like those a lot more. But yeah, so um, that one was pretty long of an answer for that question. But yeah, I answered a total of, well, I answered 20 questions. If you haven't seen the other two Get to Know Me Q&A videos, make sure you go and see those videos. I also answered a total of 20 questions for those videos as well. And yeah, this one is part 3 of the Get to Know Me Q&A video. And yeah, so stay tuned for some more Get to Know Me Q&A videos. It will be coming out soon. I just don't know when. So just stay tuned for that. And if you have any other video ideas, make sure that you comment that down below so that I know which videos you want to see, that I will do my best to film for you guys. And yeah, other than that, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on those post notifications. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.